now we move on to why the Liberals decided to introduce reforms. Watch the following clip, then pause the tape and make notes on why the Liberals began a programme of reforms in 1906.
As the 19th century went on, more and more people of power and influence realised that a different approach to the problem of poverty needed to be taken. There were a number of different factors which caused this change in attitude. National efficiency, political advantage, social awareness. National efficiency. When soldiers were being recruited for the Boer War, almost half the volunteers had to be rejected because of their poor physical condition. This led to fears for Britain's national efficiency. There wouldn't be a strong enough army or navy to defend Britain and the Empire, nor a fit enough labour force to keep Britain's place as the leading industrial nation. Political advantage. During the latter half of the century, the number of people allowed to vote, the electorate, had been expanded to include more men from the lower classes. In order to gain their votes, political parties had to be seen to have policies which would improve the standard of living of the less well-off. Social awareness. Pioneering social investigators like Charles Booth and Seaborn Rowntree were responsible for drawing the attention of the upper classes to the problem of urban poverty. Booth's investigation into the nature and causes of poverty in London showed that 1 in 3 people were living in poverty. It also concluded that it was low pay, irregular work and unemployment that were mostly to blame for poverty. It could not be put down to any laziness or fecklessness of the poor people themselves. Seaborn Rowntree wanted to know if London was typical or exceptional. So he carried out a survey in York and came to the conclusion that state action was necessary.
How did you get on? You should have noted national efficiency, the need to gain votes, Booth and Rowntree. During the Boer War, volunteers for the army had to take a medical. About 37% of men failed, but in some city centres the figure was as high as 90%. The government became worried that the people of Britain were too unhealthy, and in a future war there wouldn't be enough people to fight. At the same time in Germany there were sickness and unemployment benefits for people. During the last 30 years of the 19th century, more than 5 million people had gained the vote. Politicians wanted to persuade these new voters to support them, especially as the Labour Representation Committee, the Labour Party, was set up in 1900. Charles Booth and Seaborn Rowntree carried out surveys into the lives of people in London and York. They found that 30% of people lived in absolute poverty and that the main reason was low pay. This meant that there was very little that people could do to help themselves. That's the end of the section on why the Liberals decided to introduce reforms in 1906.